the rules.
Lordship.
Rules cannot be ultra vires.
Rules along with the Act of State Legal Services
should have to read at
Authority.
least.
Lordship, state legal state
Whether rules is ultra vires.
rules along with the State Legal Authority Act, in which
That's why I'm saying which provision of act is ultra vires.
Lordship, that's what I'm explaining before the Lordship.
Explanation will not work, madam, until unless you will not plead in your pleading petition, until unless you will not challenge the provisions of the act.
I have challenged the
Which
provision
act? Which provision you have challenged?
मैं बता दी दूंगी.
Of which act? आप प्लीड करिए, चलिए पहले आप फिर से एप्लीकेशन दीजिए, उसमें प्लीड करिए.
Lordship, I have pleaded before.
You have amended that.
Lordship,
on
it's covering
unconstitutional and ultra vires.
Lordship.
What is ultra vires?
जी 7/12/2023 का.
Which provision of which law is ultra vires?
That is I'm speaking about 7/12/2023 का मेरा covering memo देख लेंगे Lordship. उसमें I have explained in detail which virus is for the reason it is to be treated as a virus.
Petition में क्यों नहीं लाए?
Lordship, earlier the petition was simply challenged as in the high.
Okay, subsequently you challenge the virus.
Subsequently I have challenged the virus.
Virus of which law?
Lordship, state legal authority का ही है Lordship.
Where you have pleaded
rules.
Where you have pleaded in your petition?
I have not.
Oh, madam, you again here and there.
नहीं, मैं ये explain करना चाह रही हूँ सर इसलिए क्योंकि उसमें कोर्ट में उनको एक interim.
No explanation will work. You should have to plead that this provision of this act is ultra virus.
Lordship, वो इसमें plead किया हुआ है पर specific ultra virus word prayer clause में नहीं लिखा गया था. For that reason, on after a length of hearing.
Which provision of which act is ultra virus?
Ultra virus तो मैंने अभी amendment के through challenge किया Lordship.
आप अमेंडमेंट के थ्रू इनकॉर्पोरेट कर दी.
जी.
Where is in the pleading that which provision of which act is ultra virus?
Lordship.
Ms. Reena Singh, advocate for petitioner. Aman Pandey, advocate for
respondent number 2.
Respondent number 2, Pragya Pandey for respondent state. That counsel for petitioner would submit that. Earlier instant petition was preferred by petitioner for promotion,
Lordship.
But subsequently, white amendment, virus of
actually ratio of promotion was challenged Lordship, and state
ratio
legal
of promotion was challenged. Earlier ratio of promotion was challenged by petitioner, but subsequently, white amendment, virus of which
Lordship, in the state legal authority 15%.
Which law? Virus of which law is challenged?
Lordship, I have explained in my covering memo Lordship.
Petition में नहीं है.
Lordship, it was not earlier mentioned in petition. By way of
Now
amendment,
it has been mentioned.
Lordship, by way of amendment, it has been mentioned that as per legal state authority, as the legal state authority acts describes
Where
that.
you have pleaded?
Lordship, through covering memo, I have filed.
Covering memo क्या होता है?
Covering memo, I have explained the specific reason for which I am seeking amendment in the prayer clause, Lordship. With affidavit, I have placed before the Lordship.
So you have amended that.
Lordship,
on
covering memo
unconstitutional and ultra virus.
Lordship.
What is ultra virus?
जी 7/12/2023 का.
Which provision of which law is ultra virus?
That is I am speaking about 7/12/2023 का मेरा covering memo देख लेंगे Lordship. उसमें I have explained in detail which virus is for the reason it is to be treated as a virus.
Petition में क्यों नहीं लाए?
Lordship, earlier the petition was simply challenged as in the high.
Okay, subsequently you challenge the virus.
Subsequently I have challenged the virus.
Virus of which law?
Lordship, state legal authority का ही है Lordship.
Where you have pleaded
rules.
Where you have pleaded in your petition?
I have not pleaded. I have just done amendment in my prayer clause Lordship. Because state legal authorities itself says that if any provision is to be taken, it is to be taken within consultation with the Chief Justice.
This provision of this law is ultra virus.
Lordship, that I have specifically mentioned.
कहाँ mention किया?
ये इसमें in the whole state of Chhattisgarh reservation percentage in promotion is 25% applicable for the post of class 4 to 3 employees, but in state legal services only 15% reservation in promotion from 4 to 3 employee is applicable till date, which itself is Lordship. रूल 16 जो स्टेट लीगल अथॉरिटी को डिस्क्राइब करता है, रूल 16 ऑफ 2012.
ठीक है. virus of
with regard to promotion.
With
regard to promotion Lordship. Percentage पूरे स्टेट ऑफ छत्तीसगढ़ में
everything is okay.
Lordship.
Which law is ultra virus?
स्टेट वही मैं बता रही हूँ.
ऐसे बताने से नहीं होगा.
रूल 16 of
where you have pleaded in your petition.
Lordship, with earlier as per the
ये नहीं है और इधर उधर दाएं बाएं कर रहे हैं.
मैं
You should have to plead that this law, this act is ultra virus.
लॉर्डशिप आई हैव प्लीडेड थ्रू कवरिंग मेमो 7/12 का कवरिंग मेमो आप देख लेंगे. इट विल मेक पिक्चर क्लियर बिफोर द लॉर्डशिप. 7/12 का जो मैंने कवरिंग मेमो विद एफिडेविट फाइल किया है उसको देख लेंगे लॉर्डशिप.
क्या कवरिंग मेमो में तो क्या है? The petitioner have filed
पैरा
the
2 पैरा 2
amended relief.
वो तो
Sought
मैंने
in-
जी पैरा 2
मतलब 7/12 की वो एप्लीकेशन फॉर अमेंडमेंट है,
एप्लीकेशन फॉर अमेंडमेंट में ही मैंने सारे स्पेसिफिक विद रिगार्ड टू द
एप्लीकेशन फॉर परमिशन टू अमेंड रिलीफ सॉर्ट
ये
है.
अलाउ हुआ है कि नहीं?
लॉर्डशिप इट हैज बीन अलाउड. द इनकॉर्पोरेशन हैज बीन डन एज पर द ऑर्डर ऑफ ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट एंड नाउ इट इज टू बी रेफर्ड.
ये तो प्लीडिंग क्लास उसका रिलीफ का अमेंड किया है.
रिलीफ को अमेंड की हूँ लॉर्डशिप बिकॉज अर्लियर द पिटिशन वाज फाइल्ड इन द
You should
ईयर.
have to plead in
Lordship.
your petition the act
लॉर्डशिप अर्लियर द पिटिशन
which provision of which act is ultra virus. Only seeking prayer is cannot
lordship that
be
what I
treated
am
as ultra virus has been challenged.
lordship that what I am explaining before the lordship because the petition was filed in the year 2019.
Oh, madam, you again here and
नहीं
there.
मैं ये एक्सप्लेन करना चाह रही हूँ सर इसलिए क्योंकि उसमें
नहीं,
कोर्ट
कोई
में उनको एक
explanation-
इंटरिम
No explanation will work. You should have to plead that this provision of this act is ultra virus.
लॉर्डशिप वो इसमें प्लीड किया हुआ है पर स्पेसिफिक अल्ट्रा वायरस वर्ड प्रेयर क्लॉज में नहीं लिखा गया था
Prayer
फॉर
clause-
दैट रीजन ऑन आफ्टर
Where
अ
you have
लेंथ ऑफ
pleaded
हियरिंग
that which provision of which act is ultra virus?
अल्ट्रा वायरस तो मैंने अभी अमेंडमेंट के थ्रू चैलेंज किया लॉर्डशिप.
ये आप अमेंडमेंट के थ्रू
जी,
इनकॉर्पोरेट कर दी.
जी.
Where is in the pleading that which provision of which act is ultra virus?
लॉर्डशिप ये 8.6 देखेंगे लॉर्डशिप. According to rule,
You have challenged the rules.
lordship,
Rules cannot be ultra virus.
rules along with the Act of State Legal Services
should have to
Authority,
plead at least.
lordship, state
Whether rules is ultra virus.
rules along with the State Legal Authority Act, in which,
That's why I am saying which provision of act is ultra virus.
lordship, that what I am explaining before the lordship.
Explanation will not work, madam, until unless you will not plead in your pleading petition, until unless you will not challenge the provisions of the act.
I have challenged the
Which
provision
act, which provision you have challenged?
मैं बता दी दूंगी.
Of which act? आप प्लीड करिए, चलिए पहले आप फिर से एप्लीकेशन दीजिए, उसमें प्लीड करिए.
लॉर्डशिप आई हैव प्लीडेड बिफोर ये कवरिंग मेमो के थ्रू मैंने एप्लीकेशन की दिया है.
कवरिंग मेमो के थ्रू आप यू हैव इनकॉर्पोरेटेड प्रेयर क्लास.
लॉर्डशिप अर्लियर दो बार आई हैव डन द अमेंडमेंट ट्वाइस अर्लियर विदाउट स्पेसिफिक द रीजन विदाउट प्रोवाइडिंग द स्पेसिफिक रीजन.
Tell that which provision of which act is ultra virus
लॉर्डशिप
as per your pleading. Which act?
Section 6, subsection 6 of State Legal Services Authority Act 1987, Lordship. Section 6, subsection 6. Which says, and the officers and other employees of
आप केवल ये है कि परसेंटेज कुछ कम कर दिए हैं.
कुछ कम नहीं किया लॉर्डशिप. इनिशियल स्टेज से 15% पूरे स्टेट में चल रहा था. आफ्टर छत्तीसगढ़ फॉर्मेशन, छत्तीसगढ़ और एमपी का डिवाइडेशन होने के बाद हर जगह इंक्रीज होके 25% हो गया. इवन हाई कोर्ट एजी ऑफिस में भी 2018 में इंक्रीज होके.
You are challenging the rule.
I am challenging the rule along with the act, lordship, because
So you could have to plead that this provision of this act is ultra virus.
sir, that what I have pleaded in my application.
Pleading is not a. You have sought relief. Relief
Explaining
class-
the pleading.
relief
I
class-
have sought the relief explaining the
You
pleading.
should have to
lordship.
challenge, na? You say you have sought relief of declaration of ultra virus. Which
Lordship.
act, which provision of which act should be declared ultra virus?
That's what I am saying, lordship, कि ये इसमें जो दिया है एक्ट के थ्रू.
No, you plead in your pleading firstly. Which provision of which act is ultra virus?
That earlier I have pleaded that the 15% is ultra virus as
No,
per the
percentage
state
is not ultra virus.
Lordship.
Provision may be ultra virus.
तो वही मैं बोल रही हूँ लॉर्डशिप की जब पूरे स्टेट ऑफ छत्तीसगढ़ में 25% कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल भी है बिकॉज एज पर फंडामेंटल राइट्स इट्स आल्सो बीन
Which provision of which act is ultra virus? That's why I am saying which provision of which act is ultra virus, because it is reduced to 25% to 15%.
रूल 16 के रूल 2012 के रूल 16 में ये दिया हुआ है
दिया कुछ भी रहे,
15%, 85% and 15%.
Which provision is ultra be declared as ultra virus?
Lordship.
आप देख लीजिए पहले, अननेसेसरी टाइम क्लिक करने इसको ये लो, अभी आज लिस्टेड है,
Lordship, today it is listed.
आज है
20 number.
अभी टाइम इज ग्रांटेड.
Lordship, today, let the number come. I will explain to the Lordship by today. I will
No,
satisfy.
you should have to plead first.
Lordship,
Which
where
provision you want to
I will
declare?
plead Lordship.
No, ultra
I don't find any specific place to plead the thing before the Lordship, because apart from
incorporate through amendment.
Lordship, that I have incorporated through amendment now.
You have incorporated only plead relief clause. It is not a pleading.
But Lordship, initially the things which has been taken as which has been raised before the Lordship, that is with regard to the
No, you
pleadings.
plead which provision of which act is be declared ultra virus. Then only the petition can be covered as virus has been challenged. Seeking relief only cannot be termed as ultra virus has been challenged. Of which act?
Lordship, Schedule 2(4) of Chhattisgarh rules I have challenged before the Lordship for declaring it to such extent to be ultra virus, Lordship.
Rule cannot be ultra virus. Rule can be against the act. क्यों? Yes, Mr. Sharma.
Ultra virus to the act.
Otherwise, where?
Ultra virus to the
To the
act.
act,
To the
Lordship.
act.
That's
Otherwise,
what
to the
I'm
act.
explaining before the Lordship.
This rule be declared as ultra virus to the act so and so. Relief is not a pleading. Relief may declare. Very.
Any specific date, Lordship, because they are suffering since
Next week,
2019. Any specific date may be given.
Next.
कौन सा डेट दे बताइए?
26th Feb.
हैं?
26th February.
ठीक है, 26 फरवरी से. Is paid by Council for Plan. Petitioner list the case on 26th February
Great.
to enabling him to file appropriate application.
And Lordship, filing of appropriate application for amendment in pleading clause.
अब जो भी है
And,
appropriate application,
and
जो भी
it may be incorporated. Incorporation का भी दे देंगे तो 26 तारीख को लग के वो डिसाइड हो जाएगा, Lordship.
26 तारीख फिक्स डेट तो दे दिए ना.
नहीं, जैसे अभी मैं अमेंडमेंट का एप्लीकेशन मूव करूंगी प्लीडिंग क्लॉज में, तो 26 तारीख को लगेगा, उस दिन वो अलाउ होगा, फिर वो अमेंडमेंट होगा. तो इफ लॉर्डशिप डायरेक्ट्स की वो हम एप्लीकेशन मूव कर दे प्लीडिंग क्लॉज के लिए, वो अल्ट्रा वायरस
प्लीडिंग क्लास नहीं, प्लीडिंग में करना पड़ेगा.
प्लीडिंग, वही मैं प्लीडिंग में उस चीज को अमेंडमेंट
It
के
will be
लिए
considered by the court ना. Application you file application, it will be considered by court, allowed by the court. Thereafter you may incorporate. Blanket order नहीं हो सकता. Application filed by madam is allowed.
No, I'm not talking because all other things have already been explained. So to that extent, if lordship pleases,
हम लोग 30 साल करके आए हैं मैडम.